Welcome to another edition of Leafs Talk. I don't know if I missed the intro there. I think I started too early. Welcome to another edition of Leafs Talk.
I'm looking off center here, boys. Sorry, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, get yourself in the camera, will you?
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. There we go. A little better. What's up, Warnie?
Hi, buddy. So who do you work for? I can't tell from your hat there. Is it subtle?
You like that? I bought it at the.
Is it Gong Show co-sponsor?
Look on the bottom. I bought it at the. There was like the sale for all the. I was gonna give it to my nephew, but I decided to keep one for myself. So it's a nice.
Once
hat.
upon a time, Gong Show sent me like 6 hats. They're wonderful. I wore them for like a decade. They were good gear. So the Leafs, they drop 1-2-1. It ends the 15 game. What's that?
3-1. VC shot in the empty net. Yeah.
Jimmy Vesey, a man that Sheldon Keefe once called vanilla in a documentary about the team, scores the game winner and put it away. I don't know, McKee, what'd you think?
I honestly, listen, I should have known this. I never even really considered Jimmy Vesey being on the New York Rangers. Like I really forgot that he even was an NHL hockey player. But I really should have mentioned that on the show today, that it was a revenge game for him. And any guy who was bad that played for the Leafs, that plays against Leafs, ends up scoring a goal. So I'm sure you could have got pretty good odds on Jimmy Vesey for 2 goals tonight. Probably would have paid pretty good money. It would have been an electric finish with him shooting one in the empty net at the end. But yeah, this is a little bit of a frustrating game, Bourne. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit sour sitting on my couch today. There's a couple knee slaps, a couple F-bombs. It was one of those games where there wasn't a lot of flow. They couldn't get a bounce. It was a lot of turnovers. Frustrating one.
Yeah, for what's so incredible about streaks, whether it's Marner's streak or whether it's the winning streak, is that things have to go right a lot, and when they go wrong, you have to find a way. And I thought tonight that it seemed like over and over that it was about to go right for them. Like they'd break up through the neutral zone and, okay, here they come. Or they'd have a chance and they couldn't land the sauce, or a guy would, try to sneak one back door to someone. They couldn't get it through. It's just one of those nights you have over the course of the season. I don't have a great criticism aside from just not sharp,
Yeah, I think my biggest criticisms would probably be their turnovers tonight. I mean, at the end of the second period, I saw Luke Fox tweet out that they had, I think, 19 or 20 turnovers, and it felt like double that. It just felt like every pass we were making, the Rangers were kind of just stifling them defensively. I thought, to their credit, I thought that the Rangers played excellent defensively tonight. Like, I know the Leafs were fighting it a bit, and they weren't getting all the bounces that they have been getting. But the Rangers limited a lot of stuff like that. Keandre Miller, oh my God.
Yeah, rangy,
be rangier. Like, oh my God. It's like 2 strides.
What's the Raptors plan called? Like Plan 6-9? Or
yeah, that's him.
That's him.
He's just like everywhere. He's unbelievable. And Trouba, I thought, had a pretty good defensive game. I was impressed with them defensively. But yeah, if I was going to have one criticism, they were a little bit careless with the puck tonight, I thought.
Yeah, and you're seeing some of these clips here where a number of times it felt like they started to get the ball rolling. Hall's, nose contacts coming, and all of a sudden they're head back in their zone. It really did feel that way. And to your point, though, this is like when it gets to playoffs, you're going to see a lot of teams that play the Leafs like this. And the Leafs were held to, I don't know what it was, 22 shots tonight. I don't know if that's a season low for them, but they don't go much lower than that for the Leafs. And even with the Leafs playing pretty good defensively themselves, only 2 goals against. I don't think the Rangers might have had 20, 21 shots too. So much more like a playoff game. And I don't know if you watched the intermission. I know you're not much of a panels guy, but they mentioned.
Hey, look at my hat, bro. I love panels.
That's right. But they mentioned the physical play of the Rangers coming in on the forecheck, causing some of the turnovers and stuff. And I thought that looked a bit more like a playoff game tonight.
What's interesting is this is 3 straight good teams in a row that have done that recipe to success against the Leafs. I know that the Dallas Stars literally lost the game 4-0 to the Leafs that night.
Right.
But they really did a good job of – the Stars just took over that night, and Matt Murray had the game of his life. But they did a great job of stifling their breakout and really being hard on physical on their defensemen. And then you look at the Tampa game where they lost in OT, the same story. And then tonight they did a really similar – it felt like the Tampa game without them scoring goals, just in terms of them getting kind of bogged down in their own zone. So, I trust Sheldon Keefe to make some adjustments like he did in the third period, kind of shuffling up the lines, trying to hide trying to hide Malgin or trying to send him back on the next plane to Switzerland. I don't know what the hell they're going to do.
I didn't respond to you in that text because I wanted to talk about it here. I thought it was more about, okay, we're not scoring. Let's get Maddie and Mitch back together, which is a playoff implication as well, right?
The safety net. He went back to it. Yeah. So what do you think of him doing?
I said it looked like a playoff game. Immediately we saw Mitch and Austin back together, and I wonder if that's, for forecasting for the future.
Yeah, it's hard to picture a world where that's not going to be a thing in the playoffs. It really is. Like, as much as Marner and Tavares have been really good together, it's the thing that this really illustrated to me is they are desperate for some help on the left side, Borny, on that second line.
Yeah.
I know they tried Engvall up in the top 6 tonight. I know they're trying because he earned it.
Engvall was great tonight, by the way. Maybe the best Leaf.
For sure. Unbelievable game for him. There's a reason he got put into the top 6, but he's obviously not a long-term solution there. I don't know what because you can't put Malgin back there next game.
No, give me your Leafs tweet on Malgin, which was hilarious.
I forget. It was like something to the effect of that Malgin will tell his kids about the time that he got to play with Tavares and Matthews for that week, and then his kids are like, "Daddy, how did you score?" And he's like, "No, kids.
My greatest shame.
I went 10 games with 2 of the guys who are playing the best in the league without getting a sniff." Like,
one guy had a 20-game point streak, and I watched from his wing.
Like, how many times did the play on his end on his stick tonight? Like, boy, you've played enough hockey in your life. Like, even me playing in beer league playing, it's just like you have that one guy on your line that's not receiving passes. He's not making passes. He's not thinking on your level. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's tough too, because if you, I thought the bottom 6 was really good tonight. Like, Aston Reese had chances. Engvall, you mentioned, got some time up, but I thought he was really good. David Kampf is everywhere, like, really liking. And you know what? I was thinking about this today, and I'm not getting ahead of myself on Joey Anderson, but he reminds me of Pontus Holmberg in that his role isn't to go score. And it's nice to have a guy who's called up, whose job is to get it in deep, play positional, whatever. I know, he didn't do anything flashy tonight, but
he's got pretty good feet. Like,
he skates well.
He does,
and he's smart. Like, they say in the American League, like, he does all the things they ask of him. Could that be the fourth line's identity? Just do the right things.
How exciting!
I know. Dude, someone's got to
send them over the boards, and by God, those boys are going to do the right thing.
They know where to stand. Babs would love them.
I had a few things written down here, and I was laughing to myself watching the game tonight that maybe Kipper was right about the Pontus Holmberg offer sheet, because honestly, dude, this guy, every game, you can just see it happening. You can see the confidence. You can see, like, that pass he made to Zach Aston Reese, who just pumped it off the pillows, cut it to the backhand, man.
I know.
Oh my! Like, I know. Wide open net. Anyways.
He had so much time, and the goalie's down, and he was far enough out, like almost at the hash marks when he had it.
I know.
He could have done the Datsuk, and that's asking a lot. Yes. But keep it on his forehand and just skate backwards with it, like.
Anyway, I don't need to. I'm being armchair.
I know. Well, it's
forward
easy
here.
Yeah.
But like, Holmberg got an excellent pass on that. He had another assist tonight, didn't he? On the first goal, I think he did, or on the only goal, I think he did. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Let's not. Don't quote me on that one. We'll write that one down in pencil. But to me, he's always obviously been really responsible defensively, and that's why Keefe loved him. But you can really see the offensive. Not like he's going to be a stud offensively, but you can see him confident carrying the puck here. Like, I'm not crazy seeing that. You can see it happening, right?
No, I see it too, but what we also text about this a little bit. What I see from him, I was translating to Connor Timmins, and I was like, could he find a confidence level for them where he becomes valuable in a different way? Because tonight they used him a lot. They used him on the power play. I thought, they put him out there with the goalie pulled. Like, he's involved for this team, but he does seem hesitant. And we talked about it on our show today a little bit, where don't want to say he lacks jam, but he doesn't have that. Like, I see him defending in front, and when he's boxing a guy out, he's just standing there, like, instead of getting into the hips and moving a guy, like he's I don't know, he just doesn't seem like a confident player to me.
see the signs with him though. Like I agree completely with everything you said there. He doesn't seem like the type of guy that's going to, catch somebody over the middle like Ryan Reeves ever in his life. Yeah. He kind of is playing that Maybelline game a little bit. He's on the fringes. He's not, like you said, he's not boxing out hard, but it's hard to teach that first pass instinct. And he made a couple good reads with his stick where he kind of just poked it forward tonight.
Yeah, he's like really smart.
He just makes those like really quick right decisions, which is something that's hard to teach, and he shoots right. But Mike Johnson pointed out on the broadcast, and he nailed
slapper.
It. Oh my! They worked for a minute to get the puck in the zone. Yeah, they're firing it around. They put it back to him, and he just takes one from the blue line on the ice off the pad.
What's funny is when he shot it, I was like, God, it's nice to see someone hit a slapper. Just to really unload one. But it didn't occur to me there was no one within 10 feet of the net.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not quite the time. So that's part of confidence too, is like he had obviously made his mind up. He was shooting that before he had really thought it through. So I do wonder, I bet you, my other thought was, I bet you they love him because he's very Dubasy in that right stick. You mentioned smart, quick little plays. We played the Keefe clip today. He plays with his head up. He does all those things, but it's exactly the guy they don't need for playoffs where where I mentioned he is a little tentative, and I don't know if that's injury related. Anyway, maybe this is too much on Connor Timmins.
No, but listen, it's definitely fair. Speaking of injury, Liljegren out, eh? He didn't play the third period.
Yeah, I didn't have a sense for what had happened.
Neither did I. Neither the broadcast or really anybody. Like, it was kind of quiet, and then somebody said it. I don't even know if it was Johnson or whoever. There's like, he hasn't played a shift in a while, and then he was out for the third period. I really, really hope it's nothing too serious because it's
funny how quickly Liljegren has gone from like, I don't know if he can get in the lineup to like, I don't know if he can have him out of the lineup.
For sure. Like, he's become one of the more important guys, and just on a personal level from him, how far the development, his trajectory has not been linear, and it's been a long time for him to get to this spot. So you really hope that it's not something where it's like it takes him out of his rhythm, and he's been playing so well with Sandin. So hopefully he just picked up. Maybe he's got the trots or something. He's just not feeling well.
I don't know if you ever played 21 a lot, like shooting hoops with your friends or not, but you're trying to get a guy off the line who's hot, and you don't throw it right back to him just to get him out of his rhythm. Take a step, roll it off, make him go get it like that. You don't want that to happen to Liljegren, who is just hitting free throws over and over.
My favorite one was just to sidearm it and then have the spin so it looks like it's going way the other way, and then it like bounces right. That was my favorite.
You
missed it, pal. So yeah. Sorry.
But I am hopeful for Liljegren because my concern with him in the past was what role does he play for the Leafs if he's not an offensive guy, he's not on the power play, he's not a net front box out guy. He proved himself to be a puck retrievals, breakout, skated through, even shoot some in the net. He found a nice element for this team, so he's been good.
So what do you think about this, about the Rangers and the Leafs? If somehow the Leafs find their way out of the hardest division in the history of sports in the playoffs, that's not a team that would be a whole lot of fun to play, the Rangers. Why?
Shesterkin.
Bingo.
They have run into goalies in the postseason and gone, well, we just can't beat them.
Yeah. And that guy's just scary. And I wouldn't even say that he made any 10-bell saves tonight. The puck sticks to him. He's in position at all times.
Marner one. How is there no rebound on that?
Nothing. And he was shooting for the rebound because he had momentum going. Like, I think he was going 5-hole. But he knew he tried to do that
Spezza hesitation, so Shesterkin has to open his legs up and slide it,
But I think he also knew he had momentum. He was cutting in. Like, I think he could have caught his own rebound. But, yeah, man, I think that could be a potentially classic playoff series between these two teams. Like, it really feels like they're kind of maybe the Rangers are a little younger, but it just feels like these are two teams that are going to be kind of contending here for the next 5-6 years, and that these two teams are definitely on a collision course to play at some point in the playoffs. It won't be in the first round because that's not allowed, but at some point, if the Leafs ever do get past it, I really feel like it would be a hell of a playoff series between these two.
Agreed. There was a couple times that Shesterkin got bailed out tonight. One of them is when Austin Matthews danced Trouba.
Oh my!
That was about to be one of those career highlight goals. Before Panarin got a stick in there, but like Shesterkin's dead to rights in that one too.
Of all guys to come back and make a great defensive play, I wouldn't have had Panarin at the top of that list, and he did. He just made a great read, stick lifted him, stayed hard on it, It was a great play. So, yeah, I hate to see the streak go because I always kind of had a feeling that tonight would be a hard one.
I do.
I know, like, we never have to mention it again,
right.
which I know you love, and I feel like it doesn't have to, but
I mean, we're supposed to be rooting for the Leafs here. Like, you want good things to happen. I'm just saying it was a bit much some days.
For sure. And I think it would have been fun to see it get up near 30.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is why it doesn't happen, because it's the NHL and it's really hard to get points.
Really hard to get points. Yeah.
And the fact that he even got 23 was pretty incredible. So
kudos
to him. And he could have had a few tonight, like in terms of chances that he had, and he was buzzing around. But yeah.
Last one before we shut her down. Any thoughts on Matt Murray tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
So he only gets beat by the VC one. Like, you're not going to blame him on the Hedl power play goal, which they had the PK and knots.
Like, I'm Murray over Samsonov. If I'm picking my team here, I'll probably pick Team Murray. But like, he didn't even make an effort to get over. Like, he's like, I'm beat. He's like, I'm beat. I'm not making. He's like, I'm not risking my groin here.
His boat capsized in the ocean. He was like, I'm just going to sink to the bottom. I'm not swimming for sure.
I'm going over here. I'm not doing anything. So that one, but he obviously committed to the pass across from BC when he kind of cut it to the back end there. Probably didn't think that old Jimmy had that one in the bag, and he just goes bar down on him. But I didn't think he really had to do much.
You know which one bothered me more than that was the Panarin off a rush coming in hot, and he sometimes gets his glove where he's a back catcher and he tries to catch shots on his blocker side with his glove over. And it kind of jammed him up because he's goaltending strangely.
He does have a weird, once in a while, like it's probably
with his hands. McKenna's always about his hands.
Yeah.
And weird handsy moments.
And it's like at least once a game where one just absolutely handcuffs him. And, my masochist Leafs brain immediately thinks of, like, in a big playoff game, a dump in from, it just like takes a weird bounce and he's like, oh, and it's like handcuffs him and it goes in the net. That's immediately where my brain goes, which is really bad. But I'll be interested to see what they get from Shesterkin on, because we were getting crushed for our goalie controversy conversation that we had today, which I love.
Why? We said that there wasn't one.
Well, I did.
No, but you said you could smell one coming down the road.
And guess what? If Shesterkin plays good, sorry, Shesterkin, I got him on the brain. Another Russian. If Samsonov plays good on Saturday, to me, like, if you're going with the hot hand and this truly is a competition, to me, you got to go with Samsonov on Tuesday against Tampa. Yeah. Like, if it's really a competition and he's not the starter, and like, I don't think Murray was tested a whole lot tonight, but he lost tonight. He was bad against Calgary on Saturday night. Samsonov's been really good in is he 2 straight shutouts? Yeah. If he's good against Saturday, I'm putting him in there Tuesday against Tampa. So how's that for a goalie contract?
You know what's killing me about working with Kipper in that people assume the worst so often. Like, if we bring up a topic like William Nylander or goalie controversy, people assume that the commentary is that Nylander should go, or Murray, there is a goalie controversy. Like, we discuss the topics. And I think we reached the conclusion that, probably no goalie controversy. To your point, maybe you want to start him because he got the hot hand Samsonov. But with Willie, the conclusion was he's really good and you want to find a way to keep him financially.
Yeah. Yeah. He's good. And they have literally no contracts in the books in 2 years. So I think they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like I said on the show today. I wanted one more thing for you.
I got another two.
So, me in jerseys.
I do.
The Rangers again wearing their reverse retros. I'm watching the Montreal Canadiens wearing their awful reverse retros. Those powder blue. They might be the worst jersey.
Why are they wearing powder blue again?
It's inspired by the Expos, I think. Okay. They're awful jerseys. I like the Rangers ones tonight. It's fine. But once again, I am asking anyone who works for LMSC that
this is the Bernie Sanders meme.
Once again, anyone who works for LMSC that watches this, anyone that knows why the hell the Leafs are never wearing those jerseys again.
They're just gone. 2 games, 2 wins, looked like a dream.
They were the nicest sweaters they've ever worn in their 300-year history. And they're just like, I think we're good here. We're going to go back to wearing the Bieber black ones. It's like, could we maybe go back to the gorgeous ones? How about that?
They must have made some sort of commitment where, because I don't know how many times they've worn the black ones, but it feels like at least 3.
They wore them against LA on that Friday night when they lost.
But they had those last year too, right?
Yeah, they did. They wore them in the Next Generation game, which I think they have a Next Gen game coming up against. They're playing an afternoon game against Philly coming up here. Yeah. And they wore them for the Next Generation game last year, so they'll probably wear them for that. They always have that afternoon game. But yeah, man, the black ones are fine, but just, hey, wear the reverse retro ones like 3 or 4 more times. Just appease me. Every highlight I see of every other team in the league are all wearing them. It drives me insane.
The Panthers live in their baby blue palm tree sweaters. Yeah.
Those awful St. Louis Blues piss yellow ones that are wearing all the time. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Those are bad.
Where's the Leafs jerseys?
I don't know. No, it's a fair complaint. And the other my other note that I have written down, if we're done on the jersey.
Well, I have one more gear thing for you.
Okay, stick with that.
We haven't talked about this. I talked about this with Bunk on Saturday. I wanted to get your take. How about Matthews' tax?
Yeah, so I only noticed because you messaged me a while back about it. So is he wearing like a cover? You know what I mean?
No, it's just designed on the skate to look like old tax.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
It is, and I wore tax up until probably 10 years ago. They were just too creaky. I had to retire them, but they were like the tax, and they had the Reebok pump in them. So like I love the tack look, and the fact that he brings it back, that's one of my favorite things he's ever done. So
it's a quietly unknown thing this year is Matthews all the custom gear, because he's got his stick right with that classic looking CCM pattern. And I think he's got multiple wraps on the skates this year for certain games. The tacks have gone unnoticed by and large, but I will keep an eye out. He
loves fashion on and off the ice. Look good, play good.
Shoot a couple more in the net, and people will keep staring at it.
One bad tonight.
He did, and so that was actually what I wanted to note. Sheldon Keefe, I know I'm biased, but I think he's a very good coach. And there was a couple incidences tonight where I thought he did a really good job, and the one I tweeted about. But when the Leafs had the Rangers hemmed in the second period for 1:40, the next guy's over the board, so it's like the Camp line out there, and I think it's the Matthews line coming, or no. There's the Marner line coming, and he puts Matthews on the wing. So you get 16-34-91, and they had 11 chances in that time. And that's another time where it was like it felt like good things were about to happen for the Leafs, and it just didn't quite get there, where I'm not overly critical of the game tonight. It just they were this far away 20 times.
No, I love that, and that's so true. That's such a great read by him. Like, I really do feel...
He would have had to call someone back. He'd be like, hey, we're going to switch this,
And like you're not biased. He is a good coach. Doesn't he have like the second highest winning percentage in the history of the league?
Yeah. It's like the best coach in Leafs history, and everyone's like, they're 4-4.
Trotsy's like, I was like, I don't think we're gonna coach this year now that they're hot. But I agree with you completely on that. And it's such a great read. And that's one thing that I've noticed about Sheldon Keefe over his tenure is he's obviously really system oriented, and he's incredibly his attention to detail and his work ethic in terms of watching tape and getting that out, like all that.
Yeah.
But I do feel that in game, he's still a hockey guy at heart, and he still gets the flow of the game, and he understands what's happening in the game, and he has a good feel. And I thought that was a perfect time to and for them to do that and keep puck possession is really, really remarkable.
It was a great. It was a great 3 minutes of the game.
To pull that one off. Like, all right, boys.
Ozone. No one's done a full ozone successful change in 10 years on the zigzags.
No chance. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because I thought that was a stroke of brilliance from old Sheldon tonight.
Super sharp. Looking at my notebook, I said fourth line great, 34's dangle. Nobody misses Jimmy Vesey in Toronto. No disrespect to Jimmy Vesey, who scored a beauty tonight. Looked like they were playing with a reaction ball. That's all I got. You got anything else?
That's it for me, Borny. Good show, buddy. Nice to see you. We'll talk again for 2 more hours tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Sounds good. This has been Leafs Talk. We will see you after the next game Saturday night, Sammy and JD.